Yo, hello guys. I'm gonna tell you why and how you should travel to South America. So a lot of you guys have been asking me like, yo, Jingsu, so you went to South America, man. I think I wanna go, but I don't know how, so I'm gonna ask you. So I'm going to tell you why you should go to South America. The first reason is it's so cheap. In Bolivia, a meal cost me $1. Like, I had the main dish, I had the soup, and I had the dessert. That all cost me $1. That's not even 1/3 of the tip that I give for my meals in the US. Also, the room fees in South America are so cheap. I went to 4 hostels, 2 in Bolivia, 1 in Chile, and 1 Peru. And they cost me between $10 to $20 a night. So, wow. And it's inside those hostels we're going to meet a lot of people just like you know, traveling, and some of them might speak Spanish or Portuguese depending on which country you're at. And if you want to save more money, you can just sleep in the bus. I mean, it takes 10 to 20 hours and it's gonna cost you from $20 to $60 depending on the distance. So one of the reasons why I tell you to make friends in the hostels is because when I went to travel in Korea, I made a friend who told me about this trip that he was gonna make in South America, and that's how I joined him. So my friend is from Brazil and he lives in Sao Paulo. So what I did was I flew to Sao Paulo. So I stayed in his place for 2 days, and you know, in Sao Paulo I had açaí, I had brigadeiros, I had cachaça, I had pão de queijo. It was so good. I didn't do any of the touristy stuff in Brazil because we only had 2 weeks and 5 countries to go to. So finally, when we got to Bolivia, it was the beginning of our backpacking trip. We went to the bus terminal in Santa Cruz because we wanted to go to the capital city of Bolivia, which is La Paz. And that bus trip took us 18 hours. This was just one of the many bus trips I was gonna take. When we got to Santa Cruz, we went to this hostel named Adventure Brew, which I definitely recommend. All the touristy stuff that we did in La Paz, we did it with the hostel. What I mean by I did it with the hostel is that they had everything. Like, they knew all the companies, they knew all the prices, they had their own contacts. And I'm telling you, it's a lot cheaper than going online. Online, all the prices from the big companies are so expensive. We stayed in La Paz for about 5 days, and that's where I had the meal that was $1. So one of those days, we went to Chacaltaya, which is a very cool hiking place. And it is, I think, 5,300 meters. And it used to be the highest ski area in the world. Man, it was a long hike. Like, it took about 4 hours to get all the way up there. And Bolivia is high, like you can feel the altitude, like you're out of breath when you're walking there. So one of the cool things that you can do, and they offer it there, is to chew on coca leaves. I'm not even sure if that's legal in the US, but yeah, they sell it in the stores, they sell it, like there's people selling it outside. So a funny thing that might happen to you Asians that are thinking about going to South America is that they might think that you're famous. There was this teenager in Bolivia that stopped me and my friends, and she was with her family, and they were like, hey, I think, aren't you guys Asians? And like, don't you guys come in dramas? So we were like, no, we don't do dramas, and we live in South America. But still, they didn't care. They came to us and they wanted to take a picture, so here's the picture. Finally, we went from La Paz, the capital, to Potosí, because that's where you do the 3-day Uyuni trip. Uyuni is a very famous touristy thing that people do when they come to Bolivia. And from the experience that I'm about to tell you, you had to plan ahead. We were dying. It was so cold that I was dying inside. Since it was 4 a.m., all the companies that do the tourist things were closed. So we were just walking aimlessly throughout that village. We just followed this crowd of people to a cafe, and then everybody just stayed there till 6 a.m. And at 6 a.m. we just went from door to door comparing prices, asking people. By going door to door, we saved 1/3 of the price. So we went to the Uyuni trip, and it was so much fun. We were in this trailer for 2 days, 3 nights. We spent one of the nights in this salt house, which the walls were made of salt, the bed was just like a rock. But there were so many people, like most of them surprisingly were from Brazil. On the second day we went to a very famous place where everything's covered with water, you can see the reflection of the sky, but we forgot it was winter in South America, so there was no water, it was only salt. but we could still take a lot of funny pictures. On the very last day of Uyuni, we went to this hot spring. Outside was minus 10 Celsius, which is 14 Fahrenheit, and the hot spring was 38 Celsius, which I think is like about 100 Fahrenheit. Finally, at the end of the day, we were at the border of Bolivia and Chile. From the border of Bolivia, we went to Chile Atacama, which is the very northern part of Chile. In Atacama Desert, we stayed for 2 nights. So what we did is we went sandboarding, but I'm really bad at riding boards. And I'm gonna show you a clip right now. Yeah, I'm so bad when both of my feet are on top of something. And after those 2 days in Chile, we went to Arequipa, Peru, which is a very beautiful city. They have very beautiful architecture, but I don't really remember what we did, so I'm just gonna skip to Cusco. So after Arequipa, we went to Cusco, and in Cusco, we stayed for 2 nights. So Cusco is a place where people go because they want to go to this place called Machu Picchu, which is the very cool ruins, Incan place that people want to go. So this was about the end of the 2.5-week travel, and we were so tired. Like all those bus trips and the lack of sleep were just killing us. The worst thing is, to get to Machu Picchu, you have to take a train from Cusco to Aguascalientes. And we were like, no, we're here saving money. So we walked through the train tracks, which a lot of people do. I mean, it's a 2-3 hour hike. And we got there very late. Like we got there like 10 p.m. And when we finally got there, we had to find a place to sleep. And then we had to buy tickets for Machu Picchu, which opens at 5 a.m. and people were telling us there's gonna be a line, so you should be awake by 4. So as soon as we got to the room, we just knocked out. 4 a.m. we got up, we went, and the line was insane. There were so many people in front of us. We were just like, who wakes up at this time in the morning? This is supposed to be a 1 to 2 hour hike. And there were people taking the bus, but we were like, no, man, we're here saving money and doing the cool backpacking. After the 2 hour hike, we were able to see the sunrise. We were able to take very cool pictures. We saw llamas, we saw the ruins, we just walked around. We were just admiring this place. So if you see my picture, you're gonna see that at the back, there's a even taller hill. And to be able to go to that place, you have to reserve almost 3 months ahead. Like, it's crazy. Like, this place is just filled with people. So if you're gonna reserve something, you have to reserve places like that. Finally, I was just like, I'm sorry guys, I'm done. Like, they were thinking about going to Lima, but I was just like, no, I'm so tired. Like, I haven't had enough sleep, and I miss my family. I didn't see them in a year, so I was just like, okay guys, I'm gonna leave. So I took a bus from Cusco to Lima, which was about 20 hours, and then I took a bus from Lima to Guayaquil, which was another 20 hours. So I was about 40 hours on the bus on my way home. The worst thing is that my trip from Cusco to Lima, there was just no TV, and my trip from Lima to Guayaquil, there was a TV, but the thing is that they didn't play a movie. Okay, actually they played 2 movies, both of them the same movie, Thor, with no volume. So I remember I was so excited. I was just watching the movie and then just pretending to hear voices. Like, I was making the voices in my mind. That's the kind of thing you sacrifice when you want to save some money when you travel. Obviously, I'm not saying that this is the most ideal way of traveling in South America. This is just my experience. Yep, so that was the end of my trip. My friends from Brazil came over. I let them stay in Ecuador for 2 days, and then they left. I'm happy I was able to do this when I was young, in my 20s, with not that many responsibilities. And I encourage this to everybody. Like, you don't need so much money to be traveling. There are ways that you can save so much more money. Like, the guys that we met during our trips were just going by finger. In my experience, it wasn't that dangerous. As long as we were not looking for danger, we were okay. Obviously, we would be sleeping by night and we would be traveling in the mornings. Thank you guys for watching. I'm probably gonna be posting more videos about my life experiences. So if you're interested about something, just comment it below. And peace!